One of my memories of DEPM is my lecturer, my friends who are like Kingsley, Pingy, Vincent, Yuren. They are my group mates in throughout my whole poly life. We have been together, have fun, eat together, play together. And my lecturer, Sally Ng, she's one of the most inspirational lecturers that I ever met. She's the one who told me about the biggest failure. It's not about failing, but it's not to try. How have my studies helped me what am I today? Hey, as in events has many different kinds of people, it enables me to open up to people, giving myself the opportunity to learn things of their interests. Events is everything. The best part about events is basically you can be creative in any event situation that you may encounter. What do I like about events industry? Well, the things that I like about events is getting the chance to be quirky in any way, but an opportunity to meet people from all walks of life, but which opens up to a world of excitement and fun in the events industry.
My memories with DEPM is during my third year where me and my group mates actually engaged with Shell to help them build up a heritage center that lasts about 8 months. And me and my group mates actually went through a long period of teachings, and we finally reached it, and we get to do on this project from all the way from planning, implementing, and finally see the end products of it, and that is the biggest achievement that we find. I think the DEPM trained me very well in terms of preparing me for different presentations, and we have a lot of opportunity to work on the ground. This has given me a lot of opportunity to learn how to react to different situations, especially train me to be very versatile, trying to do as many things as I can. At the same time, it helps me when I have my presentation in university that I'm not able to speak more confidently than I used to be before. The event industry is very interesting, that you have different challenges, that every time you organize a single event, it will never be the same. It's always different kind of situations, different kind of emergency situations that might arise, or even kind of accidents. But this is where you'll have different experience and different learning opportunities out of it.
Most of my experience in DEPM are actually with my lecturers and my classmates, as most of the time we actually spent had a lot of fun during our class activities, during our projects, and during our presentations. And of course, we also had a lot of field trips, both locally and internationally. Locally, we have actually taken part in events that actually broaden our experience just by being the participants and the audience. And we also went to Hong Kong to visit Disneyland, and of course Ocean Park to find out more about how they run their Halloween events, to bustle and liven up the park. And of course, the other memories that I had with my classmate was during our first year project during the Community Life Art program at Khatib. At this point of time, we were actually thrown into a project to organize an event and present it to real stakeholders. And then we had the opportunity to execute it to the residents at Khatib. Everybody had a great time. That's when we learned that teamwork, bonding, and also having an open mind and have your creative juices flowing is very important. That's my experience. The entire DEPM course is a very robust course, not just having in-class experience, but we also have out-of-the-class experience. Of course, that includes internships. And from all those experiences, I've picked up a few important points that I hope I can share with you. And the first one being that communication with your client, with anybody you are talking to, is very important, because you have to know what the person wants, what the person needs, and at the same time, you have to have an open mind to be able to understand what the person's needs are. And when you get back to the drawing board, you have to think out of the box, out of the budget, out of the space constraints, and you have to be very realistic with your plans. And of course, once all that is done, when you are doing your presentation, you have to deliver it and convince your client not just visually, but also verbally. What I like about the events industry, it's fun, it's lively, it's ever-changing, and you get to meet a lot of people. Be them your sports event, your corporate events, or your private events, every event has a life of its own. So that's why we always say, your event plan changes the moment your event starts. Beyond all that technicalities, remember at the end of the day, it's the event experience that counts.
Family fills my memories in DEPM. During my 3 years in the course, my lecturers were always the one that supported me and showed me the ropes to everything. They encouraged us to try our best no matter what problems we may encounter. I had a group of friends which we went through hardships together. We went through projects, we went through tight deadlines, and eventually we still made it, and we had so much fun because we supported and encouraged each other. And the study trip that we had for lecturers and both students was another thing that brought us much closer together. And I will never forget this family of DP. The course of DEPM really helped me a lot because it was the foundation that helped me progress throughout. And now that I'm in university, it has really helped me a lot in terms of communication, and the presentations that we made really helped me to be more confident in my speaking, especially during universities where we had presentations. And also, it trained me, the events that I participated in really trained me to think on my feet. Because in events, it's a one-way ticket and you have to solve problems on the spot in order for the event to be a successful one. So this really helped me a lot after I graduated from DEPM. What I really like about the events industry is that it's very intense and challenging. Every time the event is running, everything is on you and the success of the event depends on you. You have to make decisions, you have to be daring, because all these will lead to the success and the enjoyment of the participants. But all this is worth it at the end of the day, because when you see the smiles on the participants' faces, you feel a sense of satisfaction and you feel like you have achieved something. So there's a great sense of achievement that it's really indescribable. And no one can actually feel this sense of achievement and satisfaction unless you're really in it and you're participating in the events. So I'm very glad that I'm part of this events industry.
People makes the best memories in my DEPM journey. Lecturers and friends, they are always there for me, even now. One of the most impactful site visits was to Resort World Sentosa. It was a rare opportunity for me to be further exposed to the event industry. This was also one of the reasons why I was interested to have a career with Resort World Sentosa, and I, fortunate enough, to be awarded a scholarship with them. Communication skills, people skills, organizational skills, and so on. They're important in our daily life. Being in DEPM, it has not only taught me all that, it has allowed me to understand events in depth, from conceptualization to implementation. Furthermore, it has honed my time management skills and also built my confidence in many areas. This has helped me tremendously to be where I am now.
So many. What's our memories in DEPM?
We have so many memories in DPM. I have to mention one of it that I remember really very dearly for is like our lecturer. Remember Mr. Chin, that time we celebrated his birthday with him.
Yeah, our PT, right?
Yeah, he was always there for us. He put so much effort in helping us to understand. So whenever we had questions, he will be there to answer our inquiries, and he was always like just caring.
Yeah, correct. Other than studies, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I actually remember the year 2 overseas trip to Hong Kong. It was very cold, and it's actually a voluntary study trip. Yeah. And then we actually bond as a class there. Other than the fun to Ocean Park, we actually visit a lot of other places such as Disneyland. We actually also went to visit the Startup Expo. Oh my god, it's interesting, you know, like not something you can actually see in Singapore.
Yeah, I remember those late nights we have to stay in school. Remember those projects we have to rush every time. Yeah, every time by the end of the term we have to do those presentations and all the models and all the discussions we have. And finally, when it comes to the presentation for the term,
yes, we always survive on snacks and coffee, and then we actually return home late. But it's the fun that matters.
Such a memorable and fun memory for us.
Yeah, for us.
Hi, Beijing.
Hi, Marilyn.
How do you think our studies in DEPM actually help us today?
Oh yes, all the modules that we actually do in DEPM, such as accounting, finance, econs, and even other modules such as construction, actually help us to build a very basic knowledge for our university course. And so we actually have a head start, and actually so that it's easier for us to advance into all these difficult modules.
Yeah, also to mention the hard skills that we actually learn in DEPM, all the construction and AutoCAD related modules that help us to learn how to read all the maps. These are really skills that other students wouldn't have elsewhere.
Yeah, so in general, all these versatile skills such as Photoshop actually allowed us to actually design our events, and even the finance background actually allowed us to actually plan about for the budget part of the event. So in general, we can actually do a cover a very versatile range in the events industry.
I agree, and actually all these help us to be very well-rounded in all areas to perform well in our workplace.
Yeah. So what I like about event industry? Definitely because it's not a boring office job. Yeah, and then we actually get to run around meeting different kind of people, and the experience they will actually absorb through all these different aspects, such as we actually run around looking for contractors. We actually go to events venue, and actually we try to book events, get quotation. Yeah, all these are actually experience you don't get in the office. They actually been on hand, and within the shortest possible time, you can actually meet a lot of people from different industries. And the kind of experience you absorb will be so versatile that you can actually venture into other industry next time.
So what do I like about events? I remember one lecturer telling us that Murphy's Law, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So that actually hits me quite a lot, because I realized that events is actually something that is full of challenges, and what is life without challenges? So I actually like this, and so because I will never know what happened next, what kind of problems I will encounter. So these kind of challenges actually make me like events a lot. Yeah.
Carol, what's your most memorable experience in DEPM?
My most memorable experience in DEPM will definitely be our Hong Kong study trip, remember? Yeah, we got backstage pass to Ocean Park, and we got to understand how they market themselves. Yeah, that was really an VIP treatment, I guess, to go backstage.
It was really fun. I remember our site visit to Hong Kong Convention Centre, where we visited their event facilities, and from there we get to compare what we have in Singapore and what they have in Hong Kong, and it was really eye-opening for us.
Yeah. Oh, and remember that time when we did our final year project?
Oh, our FYP.
Well, it was a really challenging event that we both did.
Yeah.
And although it was different, it was very rewarding, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And for me, I did help an non-profit organization with Green Carnival. And from there, we took part in helping them to plan out stage events and help them in running the program. And it was really very, very fun. How about you?
Mine was Halloween Horrors and Night Safari. That was such a large event. It took us 8 months to plan it. And overall, I feel like whatever that we have learned in class, in lectures and tutorials, we put it into practice and it all turned out great. Yeah, that event was so successful. Yeah, and I guess I will never forget about it. Yeah.
Carol, so where has DEPM helped you to where you are today?
DEPM have definitely built a very strong foundation to my studies today, and I have acquired a lot of skills and knowledge about the events industry from DEPM, and right now I'm doing a major in events management. That gives me a lot of confidence when I speak because I have a lot of background knowledge about events, and people do come and seek advice from me, and I can give some pretty good ones, and I think I'm very convincing as well. What about you?
Well, for me, although I'm doing a very different course in culinary arts management, event has taught me a lot about planning, organizing and execution. And from all this, skills that I have acquired is that I become more organized in all the things that I do in school, as well as having better time management.
What I like most about event is, first and foremost, events are fun and exciting. All events are different. The attendees that come to the event are from different backgrounds, and I get to meet this diverse range of people, and I get to work with important people like my clients, and I get to interact with them, and we can exchange knowledge, we can exchange information, and that gives me a wider connection and network to work with later on.
What I like most about the event industry is its fast-paced environment and the fulfillment that I get from running a successful event. Although there are many challenges to overcome, it is always a rewarding experience.
In 2012, I participated in the wedding dress contest, which was organized by the National Museum in conjunction with Li Hua Jewelry. For this contest, we were required to describe our dream wedding in 140 characters through Twitter. And I did some research and looked at all the entries the contestants were giving, and I found out and I realized that maybe the judges were looking for something different, so I wrote a poem during one of our tutorials in class to describe my dream wedding. My course, Integrated Events and Project Management, actually teaches us this module called Special Events and Project Management. So my lecturer, Ms. Rajesh, she actually introduced this contest to us, which shows this contest being marketed through Twitter. So through this contest, I learned how events use social media to market their events. So through this contest, I won a $3,000 diamond necklace by Forever Mark Jewelry from Li Hua. And this is the necklace with the Forever Mark jewelry. They say it costs $3,000.
So, hey Churong, shall we share about our experience for the MICE competition?
Yeah, during the preparation for the competition, I felt that it's very fun, challenging, and a very memorable time. So it's a very experiential learning. We cannot possibly have learned all this in our classrooms. So how about you?
Oh yes, I felt that throughout this whole process, from the conceptualization stage to the planning stage, we have actually learned a lot, and it allows us to better relate what we have learned from classroom to a real event.
So Qi, do you think that this competition has any relevance to the course and the modules that you have been taught?
Yes, because being an exhibitors, we actually need to speak to the visitors and also share with them some of the MICE facilities that Singapore has to offer. So this will give us a great exposure and also enhance our communication skills.
And yes, to add on, even though this MICE management module has not been taught to us, we find that this MICE competition has actually given us a head start and allows us to understand MICE better. Hey, do you think we have really bonded a lot throughout this whole trip?
Yeah, I think that we really have bonded. Like, I have made a lot of good friends through this trip, and from the experience that you all have shared with me, it really broadened my perspective a lot, and I've learned a lot of new things from you.
Yeah, not only were we able to bond with our classmates, we also met many international students that were studying in the MICE industry, and it gave us an opportunity to share our ideas and knowledge with them.
I'm in charge.
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 Making every moment an event.
Making every moment an event.
Making every moment an event.
Making
Every
moment
And
event.